It's a very good question. I think they see it as something that's quite broad. Someone mentioned sort of a collection of transformations or revolutions. Basically, there's all these different sectors in the economy that will need to transition in some way. I think that's in the end what we kind of agreed on. It's a little bit more multi-layered than often people assume. Yeah, again, very good question. I think there were very different views. First of all, I think what we understand it to mean is this idea that we need to have definitions of activities, and then that allows us to put a label literally on certain activities or companies or projects. Has a lot to do with disclosures, companies needing to disclose activities so that we know what is transition related, what is not. The taxonomy is quite central to this. So I felt that everyone on the panel agreed that there's a sort of purpose in labeling things. I think panelists disagreed on sort of the extent to which we need to do more in that area. So some panelists felt that we are just getting started and really need to double down and complete the work. Other panelists, I think, felt that we've now done enough, and now we really need to focus on this enabling, which is really making things happen and using the information and the definitions that we've created to allow finance to flow to where it's needed to generate the transition. Yeah, I think, it's not easy to answer that. I think there was a lot of discussion about the role of governments and incentives. I think there's a recognition that we really need to change incentives or create incentives for companies to transition or for new technologies to be created. For the most part, I think looking at what the panelists said, this will need to be done by governments. There was also, I think, a view that labeling in itself, just having the definitions and the right labels on activities would in itself already enable finance to flow. I wouldn't say that was sort of the opinion in the end of all of the panelists. So the question then is really, so what do we do now that we have all this information based on the definitions and taxonomies that we have created? How do we get ultimately governments especially to create the right incentives then for these transition activities to take place?